Hi everyone, good evening. A hot, sultry evening here in Chennai. Absolutely no breeze at all. The sea breeze, which we are normally used to at this time of the day, is missing thanks to the cyclone that's brewing in the bay. So we've got a very stifling atmosphere here right now. Okay, so the story I've chosen today is again a very old one. It's kind of a proof, that long before we had these MBA and management training and all that, there were enough lessons available in our old stories to help people to take decisions, to arrive at decisions, to weigh their options from the morals of those stories. So, this is one such story. It's about a poor shopkeeper in a village who had borrowed money from the local moneylender to run his business and was finding it very difficult to repay because the business was not doing well. So the moneylender, he was not actually a typical wicked moneylender as you normally see in all the stories. He had given the money out of good intention, and he knew that the business owner, the shopkeeper, was struggling. At the same time, he couldn't just let him go without repaying what he owed. Now, this shopkeeper had a very beautiful daughter. So the moneylender thought of a plan. He told the shopkeeper, I'll write off all your loans. You just marry your daughter off to me. Now, this moneylender was an old man, he was not a youngster. So he would certainly not live more than another maybe 10 years or so. And both the moneylender and the shopkeeper knew this. So the shopkeeper just rejected that outright and said, no, I'll take my chances. Let me see how best I can repay you. But now the moneylenders, having put that thought out in the open, he was even more eager to now somehow make that beautiful daughter his wife. So he went back to the shopkeeper and said, okay, this is how we'll do it. On this path here, we've got a lot of pebbles lying on the ground. So I'll pick one white pebble and one black pebble and put them in a bag. And we'll ask your daughter to pick out one pebble from the bag. If she chooses a white pebble, it means I'm writing off your loan and she need not marry me. If, however, she chooses a black pebble, your loan is anyway written off, but she has to marry me. Shopkeeper said, okay. But we'll do it only in the presence of my daughter. I have to tell her. So the moneylender said, fine. So they went towards the shopkeeper's house. So that particular village had an abundance of pebbles. So that is why this moneylender had thought of this plan. So the shopkeeper told his daughter that this is a plan. She immediately suspected that this moneylender would have some trick up his sleeve. So anyway, the father has given his word, so she had to stick with it. So she said, okay, let's see how it goes. So they were standing there outside, and the moneylender went down, picked up two pebbles and put them in a small, these money bags which they used to have. Now the daughter, being very clever, she had moved a little bit to the side to see what the moneylender was doing. So she noticed that he had picked up actually two black pebbles. So now she knew that exactly what the moneylender was going to do. His plan was to trap them. So now her choices were limited. She could either flatly refuse to pick a stone, a pebble from the bag, or she could take out both, show that both were black, and expose the moneylender as a cheat in front of her father. Or, knowing her fate fully well, she could just pick the black and sacrifice her life for the sake of her father being free of his burden. And you know what she did? She put her hand in, picked out a pebble, and then she just pretended to lose her balance, and she dropped that pebble on the ground, and just made a little bit of commotion. So since she was wearing a skirt and all that, you couldn't notice which pebble actually fell to the ground. So it was lost among the other pebbles, because there were enough colored pebbles. Not all the pebbles were white, not all were black. There were brown and different shades of pebbles there on the ground. Anyway, so she dropped the pebble and turned to the moneylender and said, "Oh my God, sorry, I just lost my balance there. But not to worry, you can just take out the remaining pebble from the bag. If it's white, that means I've picked the black one. If it's black, that means I've picked the white one." So now the moneylender knew that he had met his match. Again, now he had two choices. Either play along and just accept defeat and write off the shopkeeper's loans, or he has to expose himself as a cheat. Obviously, he chose to play along. He just accepted, okay, so what remains is black, so you chose white, so fine. Your loan has been written off and you're free to, I'm not going to marry you. So what does this teach us actually? This is a classic example of what we nowadays call thinking outside the box. See, when you're faced with a problem, too often we get so engulfed in that problem that we fail to look for a solution. So that is where we need to take a deep breath, step back, analyze, and see how we can circumvent the problem, either go through it or around it or over it or whatever. There are so many ways. It doesn't always have to be impossible. We are too quick to accept the word impossible, and very easily we are convinced that certain problems have no solutions. Every problem has a solution. We just have to look for it. We have to get into the mindset that every problem is solvable and focus on the solution to the problem rather than fretting about the problem. So this is one story from, I don't know how old it is. I just found it among my collection and thought I'd share it with you because it's very relevant to this day. Because a lot of us are facing new problems now, thanks to all the confusion around us, all the different kinds of restrictions imposed and all that. So it's very easy to get overwhelmed and say, "Oh my, nothing is going to work out. I'm done for," and things like that. But even in these situations, there are solutions to all the problems. We just have to be positive and look for them. So that's it. A short story. It's too hot. There's no wind at all. So I've already started sweating. The sun is about to set. Not quite yet. So until next time, stay home. Stay safe. Get vaccinated at the earliest. And most of all, keep smiling. See you.